Hello, algebra students. This is Mr. Salas coming to you live. Well, not so live anymore, but coming to you from a top secret location. We're going to be seeing a couple of videos that will help you on your Unit 6 study guide. This study guide will help you prepare for your final that is coming up in a couple of days. So make sure you take notes, make sure you pay attention, and if you have questions on any of the things that I say in these videos, make sure you ask me in person while you're in class watching these videos. If you're watching these at home on your own, then write your questions down, and then I'll be able to help you out whenever I see you again. Okay. So we're gonna be answering question number 1. Now this is 1, 2, 3, and 4, but all this is together. Okay. So I don't want you to think that they're separate questions. They all relate to the same problem. Okay. So it's a sketch or describe the figure in step 4 and step 15. Okay, so in step 4, I'm gonna assume my figure looks like this. Whoops, I can't draw very well today. And then there's an extra square. This goes like this. Now that was my baby making her presence known in my videos. There we go. This is step 4. By the way, you're gonna hear her throughout the videos because she is awake and she is watching her Minnie Mouse. So she loves Minnie Mouse. So in step 15, step 14, you should see a total of 16 squares. All right. Now for step 15 is a little bit more complicated to draw. There's too many squares, but let's see how we can figure out how many squares will be in step 15. So in step 1, we have 1 square. In step 2, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. Step 3, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 squares. Okay, so I think the relationship that I'm seeing so far is 1 by 1. So it's going to be 1 squared is equal to 1. Right here, I'm seeing 4, but technically, I can bring this square over to here and I can complete the square. So if I were to bring that square over, I would technically have 2 squares here and 2 squares there. Now I would have 2 squared, which is equal to 4. So that means for step 3 is going to be 3 squared, which is equal to 9. So let's see, step 4. Step 4, if I have 4 squared, that turns out to be 16. If you don't believe me, check with a calculator. Now, so if I want to find step 15, all I have to do is 15 times 15, and that will give me 225. Okay, so for step 15, there will be 225 squares. Double check my math. I think I'm correct. So yes, step 15 will have 225 squares. Okay, so we're gonna look at this question now, since we already answered number 2. Write an equation to represent the relationship between the step number n and the number of small squares y in each step. So in other words, we're going to have y is equal to, and then after that, how do we figure out the number of the number of squares in each step? Well, we took the step number. So for example, if we're looking at step 3, we took the step number. So the step number here was 3. And then we squared it, right? We put a little 2 at the top, and we got that it was equal to 9, right? So if I want to figure out any number of squares in any step, I have to take the step number and multiply it by itself. And the way I can represent that is with the variable. So I would have n, in this case, because we're using n to represent the step number, n squared. That would be our formula. Okay? And why does this work? Well, technically, we are completing the square by bringing the corner piece back into that little area that's missing. And therefore, we created a perfect square. And we can multiply the length times the width. And it's the same thing, okay? For number 4, it says explain how your equation relates to the pattern. Well, technically, all you have to write, let me see if this scrolls up. There we go. Perfect. Technically, all you have to write is u square the step number to get, whoops, that G could be better, to get the number of squares. And by square, so by this square, I mean power of 2. So I'm going to write this over here at the top. Hopefully you can copy this down. Power of 2. Okay. I know that's going to look bad, but hopefully you understand what I was trying to say by square. Okay. And that is it for this problem. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll be happy to help you out. All right, we're going to go ahead and do the next problem. See you in the next video.